program for you this morning, and our whole thrust here today is to ensure that when we all break up at around 1600, we've answered all the questions. This is Fleet X-85, and it's been done on a massive scale. We hope that there'll be an awful lot of lessons learned out of it. We don't get the opportunity really to have 3 battle groups and the kind of connectivity that we're looking for in the command and control relationship on a normal basis.
It was the largest U.S. naval operation in the Pacific since World War II. The operation was conducted in October and November 1984. It involved almost 100 ships, 300 aircraft, and 40,000 personnel.
Got him. He's gone! Scratch another one!
It was not a battle, but an exercise. An exercise carefully planned for the express purpose of testing and training personnel of the tactics and skills needed to win an armed conflict, especially at sea. The 3-phased operation evolved in accordance with a scenario that pitted friendly forces against aggressors on a battlefield that covered 100 million square miles of ocean, from Southern California to the Philippine Sea, including the ocean areas east of Japan and the Indian Ocean as well. The simulated conflict lasted 6 weeks and drew most of its manpower from the U.S. Navy's 3rd and 7th fleets. It involved all elements of the Pacific theater of operations. CINCPAC Fleet, who directed that the exercise be held, was the theater commander. Friendly forces consisted of 5 U.S. Navy carrier battle groups and over 60 other ships, including U.S. submarines and Canadian surface ships. The opposing group of forces included U.S. Navy submarines, surface ships, and aircraft, as well as U.S. Air Force F-15 aircraft. Fleet X-85 began October 18th as battle groups Vincent and Constellation made an opposed transit to the mid-Pacific. Since PAC Fleet's last major naval exercise, some important changes have been made, changes that significantly impact our capabilities in the air.
The performance of Connie's crew, and when I say Connie, I'm also talking about Air Wing 14 because we now are a fully integrated team. And again, this is our first opportunity to get out and operate in a true operation environment. For those that don't know, the F-18 has replaced the 2 A-7 squadrons in Air Wing 14 on Constellation. And we've used it extensively in every air superiority endeavor that we've mounted so far in this exercise. And it has been a superb augment to the F-14. We're a great deal more flexible to the triple threat, both the air threat, the surface threat, and the subsurface threat. And I give credit for all of those capabilities truly to the crew. They have developed the procedures, the concept, and the details necessary to make this thing work, and they've done it in a very short time.
This was also the first time the new LAMPS Mark III helicopter participated in a major exercise. It too performed as expected, and then some. This phase of the exercise also included a simulated amphibious assault conducted in Hawaii.
Today, the 37th MAU, Marine Amphibious Unit, composed of a combat element, a Marine Battalion Landing Team, in this case Battalion Landing Team 2-3, 2nd Battalion 3rd Marines, a composite helicopter squadron with 28 aircraft, additional 6 Harrier jump jets, or VSTOL jets, had the mission of assaulting across the beach at Barking Sands, Kauai, and taking out a simulated surface-to-surface missile site that has been harassing U.S. and Allied shipping in the Straits of Niihau for some time. The scenario was such to give our Marines a credible battlefield on which to cross, to close with the enemy, and to defeat him. The purpose being, of course, to get good, bona fide, viable training. It's the graduation exercise, so to speak, for the Marine amphibious units, and specific for the combat element, the BLT, before it goes out to Westpac on its extended cruise.
Beginning on November 10th, Fleet X shifted toward the Western Pacific and Indian Ocean regions. This phase included simulated strikes in the South China Sea by battle groups Midway and Enterprise, while Vincent battle group made an opposed transit to the Philippine Sea. And the Independence battle group established its presence in the Indian Ocean. On November 19th, the tempo of operations increased significantly. A highlight of this phase was the formation of a 3-carrier battle force in the Philippine Sea.
We have since arrived at a battle force in the Western Pacific composed of Midway, Enterprise, and Carl Vinson. And we are now working together as a group in the areas of anti-air warfare, AAW, anti-surface warfare, ASUW, and anti-submarine warfare, ASW. It's probably been one of the finest training exercises that I've ever been exposed to, and we have been doing very, very well.
True to expectations, the United States was not the only country represented during Fleet X. While the exercise in part simulated Russian Bear and Badger aircraft, real Bears and Badgers participated as observers. More than a dozen Soviet aircraft reacting to Fleet X were intercepted as they flew near the exercise area. The Soviet aircraft included 6 which staged from the former U.S. naval base at Cam Ranh Bay in Vietnam. In the final analysis, the exercise achieved its objective. The personnel and all of the offensive weapon systems performed up to expectations. Joint operations between the Navy, the Air Force, and our allies went exceptionally well. In particular, there was marked improvement in our interoperability with the U.S. Air Force. According to Commander-in-Chief U.S. Pacific Fleet, Admiral S.R. Foley, our coordination and cooperation get better and better each time. That's one of the reasons Fleet X-85 and exercises like Fleet X are a valuable training experience for each and every participant. That's also one of the reasons we'll continue to test and to train and to hone our warfighting skills. We want our wartime capabilities to be seen as formidable and insurmountable when combined with those of our friends and allies. In this way, we trust that our deterrent posture can prevent war. If it should fail to deter, then we must be ready, willing, and able to execute the rest of our mission, as rehearsed here. Determined from the outset that our only course is to win.